Is there other ways to replace a node besides replace with? What other ways that you can manipulate the nodes in the AST? Well, let me show you a few. And these few APIs actually comes from the Babel handbook by Jamie Builds. If you take a look over here, the table of contents, it basically covers very comprehensively most of the use cases that you would think of, right? It took me a while actually to understand some of the APIs. Well, I wasn't, I guess I wasn't that smart to understand like in certain cases, but so let me walk you through with all the APIs that you can see within the manipulation, which is how you replace a node, replace with multiple nodes, replace a node with a source string, inserting sibling nodes, inserting into a container, remove a node, replacing a parent, or removing a parent, right? Let's take a look at them. So the first one is replacing a nodes, which I believe that I've showed you how, but let me do that again. So over here, we have a full function called full, which is console log. And over here, I am in the call expressions, which is this function, the console log, right? And it says that you can call path.replaceWith and a node, right? It builds a node using the T helper function, which is just the Babel types. But my favorite is always to use a Babel templates because it's easy to read. So I'm going to say path.replaceWith, and let's see, I'm going to call babel.templates. And I'm going to call it with, say, something like, maybe like replace it with a string, right? By, template. And you can, just semicolon. So I replace it with a string called by, and you can see it just, you can just replace the call expressions with this string literal. So there is, other ways, like you can replace with multiple nodes. So if you have multiple expressions, then you can call with replace with multiple. And what you do is that you can pass in just one, or you can pass in an array. And within an array, you can probably have more things like babel.template, debugger, or maybe like alert. Oops. Let's see what's wrong. Infinite loop. Okay, I'm not quite sure, but let me remove this. Template. I'm gonna call it oh, okay. If I do an alerts, then it is a call expressions, and I will have to replace it again. So I can't do any I shouldn't do any nodes, shouldn't create any new nodes that has call expressions, because I'm unconditionally replacing them with another multiple nodes, right? So it will become by alerts debugger, and then alerts is a call expressions. It will be replaced with by alerts debugger, and it will go indefinitely. So I guess I shouldn't do that, but yeah, you can see you can replace multiple, replace the node with multiple nodes over here, right? Using replace with multiple. And next, we can take a look at replace a node with a source string, right? You can pass in a string, and you can replace that as like, you can replace it with the string directly, right? It's not recommended to use this API, and because you have to pass it again and then do that thing. And I find that using Babel templates is somewhat similar and is much easier to do it, right? Then we can insert a sibling node, right? So if you have a node over here, you can insert a nodes before these expressions and after these expressions. This will be very useful if you want to do something like adding, like inserting a debugger before and after, or maybe inserting like console log before and after to know the value, right? So I'm gonna try like insert before, right? Insert before, and I'm going to insert the debugger, right? Babel.template, debugger. I can see I can insert before the console log so that I can have debugger statements here, dynamically inserting, and I can do it insert after, right? In before and after. So this is pretty works as expected. And next is inserting into a container, right? This is something I initially faced troubles to understand this, but right, hopefully with my explanation you can get it easily, right? So for example, in here I have okay, I probably would have to do it for, say, a function declaration, right? So for a function, you can insert it to your body, right? You can insert more statements in your body, like before and after, at the beginning of the body or at the end of the body. So you have two different methods. One is to push, which is to insert it after, and one is to unshift, which is to insert it in the initial, like the first line of the body, right? So as you can see here, as a function declaration, it has like a block statement, a body, which is a block statement, and then block statement has a body called expression statement, right? And this body itself is an array, right? If you want to push something or unshift something in an array, you can use this method called unshift container and push container, right? So what you can do here is that if you are at a block statement instead, then the body is an array. So you can do unshift something to, you can unshift it to the body, which is an array, and you can pass in a node, right? So you can insert it in the beginning of the node. So imagine I have a lot of code here, console log hello world, right? I have a lot of code over here. I can insert it at the beginning of the body. So and so this body over here, so this block statement has a property called body, and it's an array. So you need to only do it if on an array. And so the array is called in a property called body. So I'm going to say body, and then it's an array. So I'm going to unshift it, unshift container, body, and then a node, right? And then if I am want to push it, I can use push container instead. Push container, right? You know, push it at the bottom in the last statement, insert it in the last, right? So if you're not at block statement, right? If you are at something like a function declaration, right? Then the body itself is a block statement. You can't push or unshift. It's not an array. What you can do instead is that you can get the body and then you push it, right? So you can call get body, and then you push container, right? So this is to get the node, the path of like the body. So yeah, and then you push it in, right? So this is something I was confusing, that I thought this and this is has to be the same thing, but it's actually not, right? This body is tell us to get the body path for the block statement, and then this is to push the container of the body statement, array of the block statement, right? So another example here, if I have a program, if I'm going to push something into the program, then the body of the program is an array right now. So I don't need to get something. I just need to just push container of the body, and yeah, body of the program, and I can push new nodes or statements in there, right? So that's covered off like inserting into container at the front or at the last of the container, right? If you want to remove a node, yes, you call path.remove. So over here, if I have a function declaration, and if I want to remove it, I call it path.remove, and it will be gone, poof, like that, right? Replacing a parent, right? So replacing a parent is nothing but finding the parent path and then called replace, right? So to find a parent path, you can get path.parent path. This way you can get the parent path, right? And so the function declarations parent would be the program. So for example, if I want to remove the parent, okay, I can't do, but I can say something like insert wait, hold on, push container, right? Container body, and then Babel template. Right, so this is just to show you that you can get the parent path by path.parent path. So from a function declaration, a parent will be the program, right? If I am at, say, the call expressions over here, then its parent is most likely the expression statement, right? And then its parent is the block statement, and its parent is the parent is a block statement, and block statement have body, right? So I'm gonna say parent path.parent path. And yeah, now you can see that for each of the call expressions, you can push one body of expressions in here, right? So you can look at the tree and you can tell, right? Call expressions have one parent is expression statement. So this parent path will give you the path of this node, and its parent is the block statement. So its parent path will give you the path of this block statement, right? And you can replace with, you can remove, you can push container, you can do whatever as if it's the path, right? You get the path, you can do all the things like on the API over here, right? So replacing, removing a parent, all of this is, get a hold of the parent path and you can do all the things with the parent path. So hopefully this is helpful for you. Hopefully you have more tools at your toolbox now. You can do more things with manipulating the AST.